I want to show you an excerpt from a notification put out by the Ministry of Railways on the 2nd of May 2020. This is clause number 11 and C. I read to you what it says. The local state government authority shall hand over the tickets to the passengers cleared by them and collect the ticket fare and hand over the total amount to the railways. So the railways notification talks specifically about collecting ticket fare and hand over the total amount to the railways. There is also another notification, this one from the Press Information Bureau, Government of India. This is on the same day, and here paragraph 4 says no tickets are being sold at any station. So then who's to blame? Nalin Kohli of the BJP squares off now live against Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress party. I want to go across to Nalin Kohli first. When Indians were evacuated from abroad by Air India and we had flights coming in from Japan, Iran, Italy and China, no one worried about who was going to pay. When poor migrants are being sent back home, Mr. Kohli, why is it so much of concern to the Indian Railways that ticket fare needs to be collected and handed over to the Indian Railways? This is between centre and state. Surely these issues could have been resolved later. Mr. Kohli, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Kanwal. And the first thing I'll point out, this is a spurious story of fake news generated by the Congress, and I'll demonstrate through facts how it's a manufactured lie. 85% of the costs are borne by the Indian Railways or the union. 85%, which includes the trains that come back empty. Why are we having trains? Because the states asked for it. That can we please have trains to take back the migrant leaders, provided those migrants are allowed to enter their respective states. So it's a state-to-state movement. The centre's merely on the request of the states providing a train. Next, the 15%, that is the balance amount, is borne by all states, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Telangana, the states who have charged Kerala and Rajasthan. Is the BJP in power in either? And who's made the ruckus? The Maharashtra government. That we can't pay them because of GST. GST is a reality which is across the country for the centre and the states. And my question is, if 1 lakh migrant people travel on a train, travel at 1,000 rupees also, the state would have had to pay only 10 crore rupees. It's no amount. What's the net story? The net story is the Congress states do so. Then they make this whole hullabaloo with their first family stepping in and saying, we will pay for it, as if it's a great gesture. In the first place, no tickets are being issued. There's a mechanism. It's called a ticket because you have to board something. It's not a ticket being sold on a platform. It's not like a normal train travel. You make a comparison with flights. In the initial phases, when the numbers were there, those flights were operated in evacuations. Later on, the flights were all unpaid. Same goes for quarantine. People have a choice of a free stay. People have a choice in a government facility. People are paying in different states the quarantine to stay in hotels, those who can afford it. So I think what the Congress is now doing, having realized that it is their governments who have created the mess, they are trying to create a narrative otherwise.
Dr. Singhvi, respond. It's primarily Rajasthan, Kerala and Maharashtra that were complaining, all are opposition ruled states. Your state governments could have said that we will take the hit. Here are your tickets, go back home. You created a controversy, now you're trying to milk it. Respond to Nalin Kohli.
I think the whole point is being missed completely, Rahul, and I want to give you a very quick perspective in response. The issue is only the amount being charged to the migrant labor. The issue is 1 paisa, why is it being charged? The issue is that the central government passes a farman on 29th saying only buses. When we protest, and I happened to take the national briefing at 1st of April, 1 day later, then they started 5 trains. And now they are charging. The question is, every other country, the central government has to pay the states. Please ask the question, what is the central government doing? Why is the central government not paying 100% of the money for transferring migrant labor? Why should the state pay a penny? Just consider, this is a very interesting list I have. From 16% to minimum 5% of GDP is the fiscal injection given for COVID by countries ranging, 60% is Malaysia, Japan, Malaysia, Thailand, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines, New Zealand, South Korea, Taiwan, China. The lowest is 5%. We have given 0.7%. We have not even brought it to 2.5 to 5%. The result is the central government issues a farman. You all go back by buses on 29th evening. When the whole country protests that for 45 days, you did not run a single train. And train is the best way because you can maintain social distancing, serve food and have trains. After 45 days on the first, they started the first train. Now after starting the first train, why should the migrant pay a penny? And why should the central government say that the state should pay? It's ridiculous. The question we are asking, which has been completely missed, which Congress asked, which Sonia Gandhi asked and others have asked, why is the central government not giving a migrants package? I'll tell you why. This government, we are all with them on COVID warriors. We are all with them on Bartan banking. We are all with them on clapping, on fly pass and with aero flying pass. But total all told package is 0.7% of GDP. For last 10 days, every day the Prime Minister says he's meeting the Finance Minister for MSME package, still not there. So you are keeping the food grains locked up. You are keeping your PM Cares fund locked up. For which day? When there is an earthquake combined with a tsunami, combined with a COVID, or is COVID not enough for you? So the real issue
respond
is,
to this.
what has the
Why this bureaucratic formula of 85-15? Aren't these your citizens as well? Why should the states have to pay 15%? It's as much the central government's responsibility. You should have taken them back home as part of a migrants package without expecting the states to pay at all. Nalin Kohli, respond to Abhishek Singh.
No, I mean, there is a wish that the Congress party could have. They can have a wish to anoint Rahul Gandhi as the next Prime Minister of India. They are entitled. So what about the states of Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana and Chhattisgarh, which is also a Congress-ruled state? They have no problem in paying this balance amount. And what is this balance amount for? This balance amount is primarily and essentially for the screening test that has to be conducted so that you do not have a scene that 100,000 people come, as you have seen in the liquor mint that has happened on all states that have opened up without following social distancing. You don't have everybody rushing to the stations. You don't have everybody breaching out this. It's a mechanism so that in a systematic way people will go. Who's wanted the mechanism? The states wanted it. States are paying it. Who don't pay it? It's basically Rajasthan charges. Rajasthan doesn't pay. They charge. Kerala charges. Maharashtra says we won't pay. So other states are also doing the same thing. Let's ask the next question. The next question is Dr. Singhvi, and I would concede it. This is what happens when you have a weak case. Or advisors give the leadership weak facts. So you have to change the whole goalpost and say, let's talk about what percent of GDP has been announced. Well, 33,000 crores, did it or did not go into the bank accounts by DBT? Direct benefit transfer? Is not the next tranche going into the accounts of the farmers? Is there not work being done? And that's the difference. Work is being done to what should be the steps on the economy. They are not farmans that come on some fancy Twitter handle based by some foreign advisor that let's post something today for the thought of the day. This is work that's happening. So Dr. Singhvi may be entitled.
Abhishek Singhvi, there is some logic to the idea that 15% is a nominal charge which is being levied so that it doesn't become a free-for-all. In India, the government feels the moment you say something is free, everyone, even those who don't really need to go back home, will start queuing up, and therefore charging some amount ensures that the state governments do the due diligence properly. Respond to that, Dr. Singhvi.
Yeah, you see, Rahul, this is fallacy upon fallacy on stilts. And I have more than 10 fallacies to point out. I'll take only 3 or 4 of them. Fallacy number 1, it is the free charge we are asking for is those whom you find eligible after screening to go. So the screening, the eligibility, the quantum is all decided by you. It is not that it's a free charge so anybody can travel. Suppose you are a suspect case, not a good case, you are screened and you fail the test, you are not registered, you are not to go. The trap point here is this charge should be 0 for those who are found eligible. Trap number 2, fallacy number 2. The issue is all states are crying that, remember, all these 33,000 crores, all the fancy figures thrown at you by the BJP all come within 0.7%. States are crying that we have fed them, we have housed them, we have kept them. We are now to send, if you don't do, we'll have to pay. That doesn't mean they are willing payers. The core question is when every other country, poorer than us, like us and richer than us, is paying many times over, what has the central government done? Fallacy number 3. The answer to all these fallacies is not that Rahul Gandhi wants to become Prime Minister or he has a Twitter handle. This is just simply digressing and diverting. It's not answering all the fallacies. It's creating more fallacies. Number 4. Today you had to give. See, I'll tell you the problem with the central government. When you want to exceed the boundaries of federalism and pass all kinds of anti-federal directions, which rightly many states do not object to now, because in COVID we are all trying to comply, even with central government directions, which in normal times might not be legal. For your power, federalism can be invaded. But for your obligation, which is concomitant during COVID, your obligations are not there. That time federalism comes in. I am central, you do it, state. But when you want to give directions to state, then you are not central. So this is chit bhi meri, pat bhi meri. This is completely heads you win, tails you lose. Heads I win, tails you lose. Now, the fourth fallacy, Rahul, is that I have not yet. Do you know that this government, official figure published on between 1920 financial year and 2021 financial year, between these 2 years, the COVID year and the previous year, is saving 53 billion USD. Just take three additions: 53 billion USD on oil, 20,000 crores on Central Vista, food grain bhandars full. But the state must feed, the state must clothe, the state must keep, and the state must transport.
Okay, Nalin Kohli, respond to that.
85, why not doing 100%?
The Railway Ministry deposited 151 crore rupees in the PM CARES fund. People will wonder, what's that money for? So much money has gone into the PM CARES fund. Why should the railways be insisting at this time that the state governments pay anything at all? Isn't this part of central government's obligations? These are our citizens.
So now we have a new federalism that is to be. Now we have a new federalism that is to be defined by what the Congress party sultans like. Essentially, no, let the other states do what they have to do, but we three must, that Rajasthan will say, I will charge, Kerala will say, I will charge, and Maharashtra say, well, I won't do it. Let me come on the Indians' argument first. So were these migrant laborers not working to get the economy going in the states where they were? Have the states become so heartless that those laborers who are working day and night, they can't bear that amount, which may be 10 or 15 crores? They can't even bear that. How is a state like Jharkhand able to do it? Telangana is able to do it. Chhattisgarh is able to do it, which are not BJP states per se. And Madhya Pradesh does it. Bihar does it. So I mean, what is this new argument? That is what these are the fallacies that the Congress party would like you to start buying, so that it becomes a non-story. And let me come to the final point, that this whole thing that's being said about the central government and about the railways, what is the railways' role? Is the railways the one that wanted the trains? No, it is the state. So Maharashtra says, I want a train so that people can go to A, B, C. The railways fixes no distance. The railways fixes no destinations. A state decides based on whom they wish, that some people wish to travel as per a screening protocol, to a state where they will accept or not. The railways is merely the messenger, bearing 85% for what the states wanted. So, I mean, when the railways does 85%, you say, no, the railways should have done.
Is it that this is what the states wanted, Mr. Kohli? This should be as much. Okay, I'm running out of time, so I want final words. This should be as much what the central government wants as well. If there are migrants who are stuck and they have to be taken home, it's a collective responsibility.
The order says we want people to be where they are. The order says clearly we want people to be where they are, because that's the whole idea.
Okay, Dr. Singhvi, final words. The government says you ask for the trains, and therefore you must be willing to bear at least 15% of the cost. Final words.
Again, the whole point is missed. The question is only, states have no option but to pay, to send people. But they don't want to. The question is, what have you as a central government done? That question is not being answered.
85%.
And will states run railways?
85%.
The first demand for railways was made in the second week of lockdown. For 45 days, including an MHA circular on 29th April, 3 days ago, said buses only. Mark the word only. After 45 days, 5 trains started on 1st of April. These are people who can neither be kept by the states. There are 42 lakh only from UP and Bihar, outside of UP and Bihar, from Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu and in Maharashtra. Those are all figures. I took a briefing of those figures. Now the central government will not take them. It will say, I am an agent of the state. If you tell me I will run a train, you house them, you keep them, you transport them. And maybe tomorrow the central government under Mr. Kohli's advice will send a bill to the train of the state government.
House them and keep them. Are you talking of them as strangers? They are people working in your states. They are people working in the states to get the economy going, on which the whole structure works. And you say, how do you house them? I mean, can this be a more heartless argument? Is this the new Congress Nyaya?
Two people can't argue, please. Unless the state pays the 15% under compulsion and coercion, the migrant labor cannot go. The state has no option. This has been completely misunderstood and stood upon its head by Mr. Kohli and the BJP saying the states are happily paying. Why not some Congress states paying? The states are crying for last 45 days. Give us a fiscal injection. Whether you call it a MSME injection or a migrant labor injection, give us some injection. This country is in dire need of a fiscal injection.
I'm out of time.
Instead of that, we are getting cosmetic symbolism every day.
My only point is, Rahul, and I'm reiterating it as a closing comment. I am surprised that the three states, two of them Congress and one the left, are the states that have created the whole ruckus, manufactured this argument for people who are there serving those very states in their economic thing and making a dream as if we want to get rid of them. Yeah, and by the way, on the food grains, 5 kgs of rice, wheat, dal, etc., is being given to people across states, that to 17 states.
We keep talking about the idea of federal cooperativism. This is where we need to see it at play. The states blaming the center blaming the states, whether these opposition ruled states or not, is pointless. This is where the Railways Ministry should have spoken to each state government. They should have figured this out in advance. No migrant should have been made to pay at all. Now, whether this 15% is legitimate or not is another conversation. No migrant should have been made to pay. It is as simple as that. These are our people. It's not your migrant versus my migrant, your state government versus my state government. We're in this problem together. We need to fight it as one. That has to be the approach. That can only be the approach. Otherwise, we'll keep having these tutu memes and no resolution will come of this. But Nalin Kohli argued the BJP's case. Abhishek Singhvi argued the Congress and the opposition case. I leave it to you to decide who you think had the more compelling argument. Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kanwal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.